This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. Special thanks to our sponsors, Sphere Rocket VA, for making it all possible, and my awesome VAs for making this level of production happen. I am your host, Gianna, and today we welcome Christina. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thank you, and yourself?
Doing fantastic. I'm so happy to be here.
We're excited to get to know you, and I guess the best place to start with that is going to be at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So who are you? Where are you from? And, how'd you find yourself in real estate?
Oh my gosh. So I like to think of myself in the early years as a jack of all trades and a master of none, and soul searching for many, many years. I did many jobs. I have a degree in healthcare. I worked in direct patient care in my 20s for many years. From there, I did everything from cell phone sales to corporate recruiting. Most importantly, closest to, getting my real estate license, and just became a master of the psychology of people, understanding like body language, tonality, and mastering the close over the phone and then in person with people. So all of those skills kind of led me as a stay-at-home mom at 32 to get my real estate license, because listen, I did not want to be answering to a boss with children at home, with young babies. I wanted to have way more control over my schedule. And so at 32, I ended up getting my real estate license. I serve the St. Louis, Missouri market. I'm a licensed realtor here, and I've been doing that for the past 8 years, and I love it so, so much.
That's awesome. 8 years in real estate. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
2 very beautiful Icon Awards behind you. So I think we're doing a good job. So Christina, how did you come across EXP? What's your story about how you crossed paths there and made that switch?
I have a great story. So I'm kind of an OG around here, but I started in real estate at a franchise, left very soon. I didn't even last a year at the franchise. Went to an independent. It was an investment firm. I wanted to learn all things investment real estate, work with investors, flippers. I wanted to learn all of that. So I did that for a couple of years. And while I was at that brokerage, a gentleman that worked there brought me the idea, the concept that blew my mind of EXP. And he actually tried to hound me for about 6 months to take a look at the business proposition. And I finally did, because the president of the association of our state realtor board, I saw his face on a billboard with that company with EXP on it. So I said, well, if it's good enough for him, maybe it's good enough for me. So I said, I'm going to take that meeting. So my husband and I went to dinner with that gentleman, that real estate agent, and he blew my mind at that dinner. He showed me something that I literally went home that night and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get it off my mind. I couldn't sleep. My husband and I actually got into an argument over it because my husband was wanting me to do it, and I really was waging a war inside of myself mentally, because I really loved my brokerage. I really loved the place that I was at. It was a very
that
great
sense of
place.
loyalty, man. Yeah.
So much loyalty there. And I still love them. Those guys are amazing. But I just had to make a choice. And so he was really pushing me to do this. But he said something to me, and this statement was the reason why I decided to make the switch, was because he said that the loyalty I have to our family is more important than the loyalty I have to a brokerage or a broker. And that hit me. I was like, oh my God, he's right. Like, I'm not working for the broker. I'm working for myself. I'm working for our family. So when I say no to this, I'm saying no to our family. And that was like, oh, I can't do that, right? Because that's the whole
That one little 1-2 right to the gut.
So it really got me there. And so
Yeah.
I made the switch almost 5 years ago today to EXP. So I've been with EXP for the last 5 years. And I was the 11th agent in my market. So no one had even heard of EXP in my town.
And you're over here OG in it. You saw the model, you were losing sleep. I hear that so often. I saw the model and I didn't sleep that whole week. Like I just, like change it needed to happen. This needed to just get the ball rolling. I needed to get over there quick.
Yeah.
And, that sense of loyalty leaving is tough. But look at you now.
So.
And you're doing good. And I'm sure, do you still have like existing relationships with that brokerage? Obviously not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I still like know all the agents. I know the brokers. Like it's totally cool now.
And all is well, right? Like it's fine. It's not like I don't know. It's not like you're doing anything like drastic and like, I don't know, like killing their goldfish or something. Like just
listen, like I'm not gonna lie, like it was probably a little tense in the beginning when I left because listen, they're losing me. Like I'm a great agent. Like nobody wants to lose a great agent, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we are just business people. And when we're proposed with a business proposition that makes sense, and to me, it makes sense mathematically. And the reason it did is because it's facts. You can't argue with math. So if somebody's presenting me something as a businesswoman, I'm going to look at it. And if it makes sense for me, I'm going to make that decision. And the person on the other side that I was doing business with, if they are a true business entrepreneur and understander of business, can't hate on that. At the end of the day, all they can do is say, you know what, this is a smart decision. I think you should make this, even though it may hurt me over here. Like, I think that I can't give you that. So I'm going to encourage you to go make that decision for yourself because I feel like it's a smart decision.
Absolutely.
And
it is hard to, leave and, oh, this is better for me, but what will they think of me? And like, that's tough. But, fast forward, we're happy with where we're at. Those relationships still exist. That tenseness, I mean, it's going to be in the air for a little while, but ultimately it'll go away.
Yeah.
You have to think, if your brokerage was faced with the same decision, they would also pick the loyalty to their family. And that's okay. Yeah. We're all just human here. We're all just trying to survive and pay our bills. And at the end of the day, that's just one of the things that has to happen. And now you're over here at EXP and you saw the model, you loved it. But what makes you say, I am never leaving EXP, right? We've got stock options, rev share, collaboration. What does Christina love about it?
It's actually none of those things on paper that you can measure on a spreadsheet. The thing that I love the absolute most about this company and that has kept me staying and engaged and involved and like preaching to the choir about it are the connections that I have made with open-minded entrepreneurs in real estate. You do not find this type of person anywhere else. It only has come from working for a cloud office because the majority of people that are coming to this company want more. They see future. Like they know that change is coming. They embrace change. They don't push back on it. So for me, it's 100% the connections and the people. 100%.
Absolutely. And that collaboration, I mean, like in the sense of things too, Christina, if I'm a newbie watching this podcast, right? And I'm thinking about coming over to EXP, just got my license. I am just so new to the real estate industry. I don't even know what it means to be recruited yet, right? Yeah. And so I'm like trying to decide, where am I going to call my home? And I was watching this podcast and, Christina was really cool. She was really my vibe. Like she seemed like, somebody that I would really get along with. We had the same work ethic, same priorities, family first, stuff like that. So, but I live in Colorado. That's not Missouri. Like, do you think she'll talk to me? Of course. We live in a metaverse. That's the really cool thing about EXP is if you feel like you can connect with Christina, do it. Send a message.
I have partner agents all over the country and now internationally. And they're in like so many different states. So it hasn't stopped anybody from connecting with other people. I think people just want to vibe with the right people they're connecting with that they can feel like can help them. And that person doesn't have to be local to them. They can be literally anywhere. That's the beauty of a global brokerage and a cloud office. We can connect with anyone.
Got to find your tribe, and you can. You can literally pick your family here.
Right. I love that. You can pick your family. Pick your family. Yeah.
You can. It's exciting, and you guys, you align with like their morals and their standards, and the way that they like to go about marketing. But the cool thing is that this little team that you align yourself with, you guys go to EXPCon, you find another team that you like, and this is the cool thing about EXP is you can rip off their ideas and steal it from them, and they'll be excited for you to do it. Yeah, like they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, you stole our lunch. Right. You can go up to them and be like, hey man, like, how did you get verified on Instagram as a realtor? That's insane.
Let me show you. And they'll just literally show you how to do something. Or like, hey, I saw you sold 400 houses last year. Can you share your listing presentation with me? Sure. Let me just do that. Yeah. Where can you go to get that? I mean, I don't know of a company that operates that way. They operate more in fear and lack. We operate in heightened vibes and energy and just knowing that a rising tide, raises all boats.
Abundance. You're right. There's plenty of business for everyone to do. And the more business that is done at EXP, the more we all win. So done. Easy sell there. And Christina, obviously, like you said, you're a mama and you're a wife and you're a real estate agent and you're an icon agent and all of these things. And you've got a team all over the world, right? So how do you take care of Christina? How do you avoid burnout mode? Because obviously when you're go all the time, it's really hard to be your best self to your team, your clients, those that you're mentoring. So how do you take care of yourself?
Well, I mean, you just have to learn to say no.
Amen.
It's like a learned skill to say no to things. And listen, I've been there. I've done things where I've said yes to things and then had to pump the brakes and get out of it. And you know what? That's okay. You have to prioritize you, because if you are not doing that, you're no good to anyone or anything around you. And then you start to slip and make mistakes, and then you start to like burn out. You go into burnout mode and you get tired and you get worn down, and that lowers your vibration and your energy. And people don't like that. They want to be around people that are thriving in all facets. They want to feel good energy, especially now in the way that our world is. We do not have time, for sadness. Like, we want to be happy. And every day, at the end of the day, that's what success for me looks like, is just, am I happy doing what I'm meant to be doing? Am I doing it? I call it like being in flow. Are you in flow? When you wake up every day, do your feet hit the ground running? Are you excited to live life, to do whatever that is you do?
Absolutely. So, no, I agree. You had the last 2 years to sit in your bedroom. You're locked in your house and be sad and think about all the things wrong in the world and how unhappy you were. And you're right. Yeah. And with, we've got an abundance mindset, right? But you have to think, like, if you're on burnout mode, right? And you just you don't have the energy there to support your clients. You guys haven't signed a contract yet. You're just meeting for the first time. There's an abundance of real estate agents out there. Even your neighbor with EXP, that they can go with and choose instead of you. If you don't bring the right energy and excitement to a huge, milestone in their life of buying a house. And so, I like what you said there. Like, you have to feel recharged. You have to find what suits you and recharges you, because that's really important. And, I heard that it actually takes 2 to 3 years to recover from burnout. Like, if you are officially on burnout mode, that it takes 2 to 3 years to finally get back into a true groove where you don't feel like, that you have like a flat tire or
I could see that. I could totally see that, because especially like the early years of my children, like being young, like that was really hard. And I knew it was just a season though, but I knew it would last, for a couple of years. And so I just gave myself more grace during that time. I mean, that's all we can do. We're only human. we have to allow to give ourselves time and grace, and just understand that whatever you're going through at any given time, it's just a season and it will pass.
Yep, absolutely. And I love that. Be patient with yourself. Grant yourself grace and say no. Say no.
Like, learn to say no. Like, it's totally okay. Stop being a people pleaser and saying yes because you want to just, help all the masses, but you're no good to anyone halfway.
Right. Oh, 100%. I love that. You are no good to anyone halfway. Absolutely. And that goes for business, whether that's your client, that goes for, your team, whether it's your mentor, your mentee. If you can't, if you're not marking off the goals that you set every week, your mentor is probably going to be on you a little bit. And if you're not there to keep your mentee accountable, what's the point? They're going to be a little disappointed in you. So there are a lot of people leaning into you and leaning on you in an industry like this. And ultimately you just have to take care of yourself, because you have to be your best self at all aspects for the business, for the people you love. And it's the industry you chose. It's the industry you thrive in, and got to find a way.
Right.
Well, Christina, let's talk about the Icon Award specifically, right? I used to ask all these questions at once because it's technically considered one question, but I've broken them up now because I found that it's a loaded question. So we leave a lot of it behind. So let's start first with the production in your market that you had to do to achieve the Icon Award, right? So you're probably going to get to sell a few less houses than somebody in Podunk, Alaska, right? That's
I don't think people realize like how affordable it is. Well, it's been affordable up until the last boom we've had over the last 24 months. But on average, and typically here over the last decade or so, home prices have averaged here in St. Louis about $250,000. So it's really affordable to live here. I know people don't realize.
I don't even think I could get a closet in Nashville for that much.
No, not now. You couldn't. I mean, maybe 5 years ago you could have. But Nashville's seen insane growth. I love Nashville.
I was on Facebook yesterday.
Yeah.
Sorry, quick side story. And a real estate friend of mine had posted, and she was like, how funny is this post from 7 years ago? She's like, I am desperate to find my buyer a house for $160,000. Desperate. And that was like a good price point back then, right? Like, people are willing to pay top dollar for your house. Sell your house right now for $160,000. I'm like, what? $160,000? What a time to be alive, or to have been a home buyer.
So we do have some of those houses now, that are in that price point, but they sell, obviously way over ask. So I mean, in my market, the first time I hit Icon, I think it was like both times were 35 and 34 transactions. It took me quite a bit of transactions volume. So the first year, 35? So that first year I did almost 10, and then I did it, and then the last year was like 12 million. So I actually sold one less house, but I did 2 million more in volume. For me, like, is like my goal. Like once I Icon, I let off the gas and I'm able to focus on other areas, like my partners. I've got almost 100 partners across the world. So I have so many places, or just like for me, I'm so busy selling houses most of the time, or mentoring agents, because about 50 of those agents are local to me. So they take a lot of my time and effort and energy and mentoring and training and teaching and coaching. So for me, it's just like, I'm going to go on a 3-week vacation and like go somewhere because I need to recharge, right? So I use my Icon as like my North Star. It's like my guide for me every year. It's so easy to just know. And I love the tools that EXP gives us on like our numbers. I don't have to call or ask anybody. My numbers, I can go right in our back office and I can see, this is my percentage to cap. This is my percentage. This is how many houses I know I need to sell to hit my Icon. So for me, that's my North Star. And I'm able to like kind of just plan every year because I know when my reset date is and I know when that's going to hit. So the coolest thing this past year though was I hit it. My reset date is October and I capped in January this year. So I'm 100% until October to Icon. So now I've seen this come full circle here locally, especially, but my partner agents now are starting to like Icon. So that's where my pride and joy has been because I've been able to attain it. And you know what they say, it's like the person that ran the 5-minute mile after he hit that, the next year, like 30 something other people hit it. Like it just opens up space for people like in their mind mentally to be like, oh my God, if that person hit that goal, I know I can do it.
That's incredible.
It's the coolest thing. I love Icon.
And I love that, Christina. You were like, like whatever, I just hit the gas and hit Icon so that I can focus on other things right now. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know you'd mean like, oh, my year ends in October and then Icon in January. So now I have 10 months to focus on my whole team. That's
Right.
incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I can just redirect myself into other things. And because this company has given us so many opportunities to build wealth, I don't have to worry about being on the transaction treadmill. Like, I can be productive and I can be successful in my mind on what success, like, listen, everybody has their own goal. Some people want to sell 100 or 500 houses a year. That's not my goal. My goal is to just make a bigger impact, and I can do that in multiple ways. But this production is important. I do think it's important because it's a difficult goal. You know, most real estate agents don't sell that many houses in a year. So I'm proud of myself to do that.
You should be. I'm proud of you.
I was never able to do that before I came to this company. And so I've essentially 10x'd my business coming here, you know, and I've been able to do that through referrals, through the connections, through social media, without cold calling, without door knocking, like in my own way. Like, to me, I found my ikigai.
Yep.
I don't know if you know about ikigai, but you should.
No, tell me.
Oh my God, really? Okay, I love this. So ikigai is a Japanese term. It was an old village in Japan was studied on the people that came to 4 pillars of their life to find like health and wealth and success and happiness. And it's doing what you want every day. It's having like a sense of belonging, making the world a better place, and giving the world, what they need, and then doing something that you can make money doing. So it's like the intersection of these 4 pillars to find happiness. And they found those people live the longest and they were the happiest in life when they found that. And I feel like I've found that. That's like where I talk about being in flow. I've found my ikigai, and I only found that through mastering personal development, mindset, and doing all of that at this company, finding the right people, getting in the right rooms, the right circles to elevate me.
Yeah.
So
picking your family, right? No, that's incredible, Christina. And, as you're talking, like, you're like, wow, like, here's the thing. I don't even have to focus on selling houses for the majority of the year. I'm focusing on the people around me. It's incredible because EXP has provided you a way to monetize being a leader and like being a friend and a mentor and somebody that's holding you accountable. And I think that is so cool. I mean, I've met some icons that make like $8,000 to $9,000 a month just off of their downline.
Yeah.
And they get to focus on those people and pour into those people and like not even have to worry about selling a house, which is incredible. Or you can come over, and if all you want to do is sell houses and you don't want to recruit a soul, I think that's silly because the rev share here is incredible. But that being said, you can do that. You can. And it's kind of just like a build your own, like you said, like your own pillars of success and happiness. And you wake up every day and you get to choose what best fuels you here. And I love that. That's super cool.
It's so fun.
And so, Christina, my next part of this question, see how one question can go veer off? That's what we're supposed to do on a podcast, but this is why I had to break it down. And so my next question is, how did you give back to EXP World? Because these icons are vetted. You guys are put through the ringer. Anybody can hit that amount of production, but not everybody gets to be an icon. So how are you giving back to EXP culture? Are you teaching in EXP World? Are you vetting other icons? What's your avenue?
So for the last several years, I've mentored. Like in the beginning, I was a mentor even before I hit Icon. And then last year, I taught an agent attraction series. I've actually taught 2 classes through that series. Awesome. Most recently, last week, I spoke on the panel at the Sprint in Nashville. I was asked to speak on the the Ladies of EXP panel, so I was able to do that. Cool. And then actually tomorrow, I'm co-hosting our whole company's leadership meeting. I got asked to do that. So anytime EXP asks me to like do something, I raise my hand. Like just, first of all, it's like giving back to my people and helping. I'll always do that. So they ask me to do something, I'm there.
Oh man, I wish I knew that you were in Nashville last weekend. I wish we did this podcast 2 weeks ago, so I would have known.
I know. It was amazing. It was an amazing just time and just giving back, like you said, to like 100 other leaders that had earned their spot to be in that room. Myself and the other amazing women on the panel, and just giving them. They literally like just broke it down for a whole hour, a Q&A to pick our brains on what we've done to hit this, and like. It's just fun to share that information. Nothing is secret, and it's not going to hurt any of us. It's only going to actually hinder us by not sharing that information.
I agree. And that's it's cool. And like to be somebody that EXP can lean on and be like, hey, Christina, would you mind sitting on this panel? And you're like, man, this is an honor. Like, this is really cool to be able to go and talk to these people. And, I like to tell people that EXP is a trailblazer with a lot of just little fireballs that work for them and help make it glow brighter. And I think that it's incredible that they just stand behind people like you. And like one thing that's really incredible too is just like as a young woman in the just industry, any industry in general, right? Where, women that are a little more established don't really share their secrets with you. They don't feel like, that you've earned the same success that they've earned. And they, are pushing you away and like, keeping their secrets in their chest. So it's really cool at EXP that there are these panelists of women that are encouraging other women to, hey, step it up. Hey, come get me. You want to be like me? You want to, like, I would love to have you sitting next to me on this panel. Here's what you can do. Like,
just encouraging that, I think is a dynamic that makes us different. It's what makes our company just elevated. And I think that's why we have a grassroots way of growing. We don't have paid recruiters at our company. The agents like myself that are so happy that are seeing success want to share that with you. I call myself, another friend of mine uses this phrase, a hope dealer. Like I'm literally able to give people hope and change and deal that out. And it's like the best job ever to be able to share everything because it's changed my whole life. It's changed my family's life, this company. I'm so thankful for Glenn Sanford for creating EXP. It's just an amazing brand and an amazing movement, I would say. It's why we've grown so fast.
I agree. And I think just 2 days ago, I saw that EXP posted they just sailed past 79,000 agents.
Yep.
Incredible. That's so
For real.
Cool.
When I started, there was 4,700 agents in the entire company. We weren't even in all 50 states yet. We were in 5 provinces in Canada. So to see it today to 21 countries and to know where we're going in the next 5 years at 500,000 agents in 50 countries, that is just, it blows my mind. And it just makes me feel so good. And to know that we're so sustainable for whatever the world brings. Like, it's a security. It's like our security blanket, I feel like, in this industry, because I feel like our CEO truly has our best interest at heart to constantly keep us in the know. I promise you, he's thinking of something a year from now that nobody even has heard of. And he's going to pull it out of his back pocket and give it to us because that's just what we do. That's what he does. And that's the culture he's, basically created.
Yeah, he's created an incredible culture, an incredible company. And it's like, when people are like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. It is, but it's upside down, right?
Yeah.
The money flows to the agents and it's great. And everybody's winning at this pyramid scheme. Okay.
Right.
And if you're listening instead of watching, you should have seen when I was talking with my hands. It would have made sense to you. Okay.
This is the best pyramid scheme I've ever been a part of. Give me more
Absolutely.
Pyramids. No scheme, just a pyramid of where the money comes back to the agent instead of the CEO or the broker.
Absolutely. And Christina, we've talked a lot about the Icon Award, but I want to know your favorite part. Is it that hefty hardware you got sitting on your shelf right there? Or is it, the stock options that you give back? Is it the opportunity to go to EXPCon and shareholders and rub elbows with those, fellow Iconers and rookies and, vets, whatever else it is? What is your favorite part of the Icon Award?
I think it's I don't think I know. It's the ability to be an owner. You treat something different when you own it. Mm-hmm. And that is, it's so important. But also to know it was a smart business decision, because at 99 cents a share at a penny stock, when you're like looking at a company and then it pumps to whatever, just having that equity piece to build generational legacy wealth that I can leave my children when I die.
Yep.
You can't get that anywhere else. Like, no one else is going to give you a piece of the pie the way that they do when you own it. So the ownership is a huge piece.
And that's what I love that part too. What better way to practice employee retention than to give them a piece of the pie?
Right. Are you ever going to leave when your, $16,000 cap is gifted back to you in stock, and maybe it's a couple bucks a share and then it pumps to 100? Like, why would you ever? I mean, you're literally, It's what's the difference between you working and making more than 100%. It's the 100% conversation I have with agents where it's like, you might make 100%, but you can never make more than that.
Right.
I can show you a way to make more than that. And that is how.
And, you know, that's like the funny part is like, are you ever going to leave EXP after having ownership in it? And like, here's the thing though, I meet so many people on this, like this show that are like, I wish I would have heard about EXP sooner. I wish I would have listened sooner. I wish I would have gone to lunch sooner. And so now all these icon agents are like, yeah, you got a new brokerage and you think you got a better presentation than EXP. I'll go to lunch for you. One guy was like, he told me, he was like, Gianna, I have to tell you something. I will do anything for a free lunch. It's like,
I'll go to lunch. I mean, they all call me too, like every brokerage, you know, is trying to recruit because I'm a top producer. And it's like, let's talk about it. Let's have the math equation. Let's talk. I mean, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they can't offer me.
Right.
You know,
because the icon agents are smart enough to go and hear that out because, you know, it took
we know the math. We know the math makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And
but
also
they're like
when they're talking to you and they're like, oh, well, you know, we've reduced the cap and stuff. Then you have to start thinking like, how are you going to be sustainable? How are you profiting if you're taking it down to nothing? How are you going to profit? So I always tell agents, I'm like, if you want to know how they're doing, ask for their profit and loss statement. You can actually see if their owner is profiting. Then you'll really know, because if they're not profiting, you're not going to profit.
It's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah, and it's not sustainable.
Often when I talk to icon agents, you know, they're like, yeah, we'll go to lunch. We'll hear you out. And they're like, but, you know, sometimes I just like accidentally pull the reverse card and I'm recruiting them all of a sudden because like their numbers just don't make sense. And then they begin to lean in on our numbers. And it's just like, you know, it's a good opportunity. So good. And Christina, for the next question, I'd like to kind of focus on the rookies that may be listening or out there watching. And, you know, you've been with EXP for a while and you've icon twice and you know, feels good. But as a rookie, as a newbie, is that something they should be focusing on? Is the Big Shiny Icon Award in their first year? Or, you know, they're drinking water from a fire hose. There's 150 hours of training this week. They need to be building a downline, or not a downline, a pipeline for leads and everything else. And, you know, what should they really focus on? And if they are insistent on iconing in their first year, you know, what are some mistakes that you made that may have just caused you to barely miss icon? Or, you know, what is a method that you've come up with that helps you hit it?
Yeah, my first full year, I didn't hit it with the company. I only sold, I think, 24 homes. But before that, I'd only sold like 15. So I had been moving the needle, but it wasn't enough to icon. And so I tell people, I was like, what needs to change for me to make the difference? And it's just the prospecting. Like, are you doing income producing activities? If you're not selling 25 houses a year, you need to be prospecting 2 hours a day. Income producing activities. You need to, you know what I mean? Like if cold calling and door knocking is your thing, go do that. But it's not my jam anymore. And so for me, it's social media, it's content creation, it's copywriting, it's blogging, it's connecting with people through video. Like whatever that getting into the DMs, like whatever that looks like for you to be able to drum up business 2 hours a day, time block it out and set it as an appointment, and you don't miss an appointment. Don't miss an appointment. Do it every day. Be consistent, because that consistency over 52 weeks of doing that, I promise you, you will move the needle. You will get to where you're wanting to go if you are methodical in protecting your time and prospecting. So I would say for sure, if you're not selling 25 houses a year or more, you need to be prospecting minimum 2 hours a day. And then the second thing under the question is like, what would I have done differently? I would have connected more with more agents. I would have went to more coffees, went to more lunches, done more to get myself out there and network, and done more video. Because I preach like a digital mayorship. I teach on that because let's be honest, the top 10% do 90% of the work in this industry. And there's a reason why the top 10% are successful way more than the other 90%. And it's because they're willing to do what they won't.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's really breaking it down to that, like doing things that nobody else will do. What are you going to do to get creative and set yourself apart? In 2022, you know, you are a digital marketer, whether you want to believe it or not, in real estate. So you better get good at marketing yourself. You better get on this online space because it's not going anywhere. And you embrace technology. And if you can do those three things as yourself, your true authentic self, you will find the right people to follow you and take you to wherever your business wants to go.
Absolutely. No, that's incredible advice. Move that needle, evolve or get left behind. You have to. You have to. And then for my final question, when you were introduced to EXP, it took you a minute and somebody was hounding you. And then finally you saw the model and then you're like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to leave my brokerage and stuff like that. So if you could go back in time and either sit down with yourself and, obviously, I've had people be like, I would smack me across the face. But either talk to yourself or talk to somebody else right now that may be watching that's on the ledge and they're like, I don't know if I should make the move. The grass is greener over here. It's too good to be true. It's a cult. It's a pyramid scheme. What would you have to say to that person watching or yourself all those years ago?
I would say that take the risk. If you are contemplating whether or not to do this or not, like, listen, highly successful people, this has been studied, millionaires and billionaires, they do not mull over shit. They are very decisive in making decisions. And sometimes we don't always have the answer, but if you're connecting with someone and it makes mathematical sense on paper, stop doubting yourself. You being in that doubt and fear and lack is a low vibe. It's a low energy. You're never going to go anywhere staying in your comfort zone. You need to be doing something that's going to scare you every single day. So make the decision, because guess what? What's the worst thing that can happen? You go back somewhere else. It doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But what if it does work? And what if it is everything that somebody's telling you? What if it's even better? Like for me, it's even better. Like I don't think our company charges us enough for what we get. Like, to be frank, like I think the value is so high for what we get. They don't charge us enough. Don't tell Glenn I said that. But like, if
Glenn,
you're not seeing that, you'll know it right away. Listen, people can smell bullshit. They know when you're messing with them. Like, don't just be honest. Be open and honest with yourself and partner with the right person that you're going to connect with, that's going to help you, that has a vested interest in helping you. Just be smart about the connection, but make the decision. Like, you're never going to make that a wrong choice, in my opinion, because this is where the world's going.
Yep, I agree. Make the jump. Do it. Worst case scenario, you can always go back.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that could happen? As somebody said that to me, they're like, in the early years, they're like, I don't see how this is sustainable. Like, I don't understand the cloud office. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? I didn't burn the bridge from when I left my last company. They would welcome me back with open arms because I'm a rock star, and why wouldn't they? And if they didn't, there's 5 million other places that I can go, right? What is the worst thing that can happen?
No, I don't think anything.
Nothing. You can learn and grow. Failure is learning and growing. So even if you fail, you've learned.
Yep,
you never lost.
Yeah, and like, it's not like end all be all. It's not like,
I mean, we're taking
you can leave as many brokerages as you want. They're not going to take your license. Like, that's you're fine. There's really no dramatic ending to this. Okay, the only dramatic ending is going to be the stock options you have here. And I had the guy the other day that's like, I've already paid for my daughter's weddings, and they're like 8, right? They haven't even had their first boyfriend yet, and he's like, their weddings done, college done. I'm like, good job, Dad. Amazing.
Exactly. Like the opportunities. Oh my God. Like, just insane. I'm telling you, this will change your life if you let it, and you just have to align with the right people. And I would love to be that person to help you cross that bridge.
Reach out to her if you feel like Christina, somebody that you're going to vibe with. You can pick your family here. So do it, Christina. And Christina, it's been almost a 40-minute episode. This has been incredible, a great conversation. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. Is there anything you'd like to leave the listeners with as we wrap up today?
Well, I mean, I just want to really just, as I said before, reiterate, just be yourself, be authentic. And if you're being your true self, it will come across as genuine and real. And that's what we really need in this world. We need people to be real and open and authentic. In a world of fake, be yourself.
Amen. Awesome. Christina, thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to EXPCon and shareholders, and I'm going to get a hold of you and pick your brain and I'm going to get together with you.
Absolutely. Buy a cocktail.
Deal. I'm already in. You're at the top of my list to see now, Christina. Thank you.
I will see you soon then.
Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.